Okay, let's see here.
Just describe the dive site, I guess, with the layout and how you would do it.
Okay. I made a trip over to Egypt in 1997, spring of 1997, with biblical archaeologist Ron Wyatt, a scientist from Sweden, Leonard Moeller, and a gentleman that accompanied him by the name of Rory. I had dove there twice before this trip with one of Ron's son. As you know from watching the video, that Ron has been diving there, Andrew, since
1977, I think.
77?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron believes this is the area that the Exodus took place, as described in the biblical narrative. We dove off of a large beach area in Nuweiba, which is on the Gulf of Aqaba. I'm going to go ahead and describe one of our dives where I happened to see a chariot wheel. It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we only had a few minutes left before the sun went down. So we needed to get back on the beach and get our equipment put together before it was dark. So we made our last dive, and we went down to about 70 feet. About the bottom, I say, was about 95 feet. And we stayed at that depth so we could have longer bottom time, but also be able to see the bottom. So my air was starting to get low, and I was about ready to turn to the top, and I came across over a group of coral, and there was a round area just with sand. There wasn't any coral in that area, and I noticed a circular type of a thing. I wasn't sure what it was, and I thought, well, I'm going to go down and take another look. So I got down there, got on my knees, and I could see the circumference of a chariot wheel, also with a hub in the center, like a grapefruit, a round object, and you could see spokes coming off of that. Now, I assume it was probably a 6-spoke chariot wheel, because I couldn't see all the spokes. Some of them were covered. But the angles they were coming out made me believe it was probably 6-spoke. At that point in time, my partner, I motioned him over. He came over, and he tried to pull it off the bottom, but it was attached to, I assume, with some coral on the bottom that had grown up on. So it was on the bottom. It wouldn't come up. If you've seen in the Cairo Museum, they have a picture of King Tut's ceremonial chariot there, and it was about that size. The only difference was it was made a lot more beefier, if you want to say stronger. It wasn't as delicate as that one. The hub, or the center of the wheel, was about so, and it was like a grapefruit round on the outside, and you could see the spokes coming out. The spokes were probably about, I'd say, probably an inch wide. It was like a bronze color, a dark brownish gray. I'm not sure what type of material it was, but it was not a gold chariot wheel that Ron had seen previously. Now the question is, why is this site important? Ron has found chariot wheel parts there, fossilized horses' hooves, possible human skeletons, and the geography definitely fits in the biblical narrative. And here you have this massive beach area that could have possibly held a few million people. From satellite maps, you can see where they made their trip through the wadi, and you can see where they were actually entangled in the land. You can see the mountains. The mountains came all the way down to the water, and on the other side, we believe possibly that there was a Egyptian fort or garrison stationed I believe it was to the north of them. And so they were actually entangled in the land. Now, it's not the objects that we're looking for. Those are important to prove the site, but what happened there is what's really important. See, that was God delivered them there. That He could have taken them another direction to where they were not entangled in the land. But He specifically took them there to work a miracle that they would never forget. In fact, all the way down through generations, they referred back to this deliverance. And I think as Christians, it's easy for us today to wonder, where is God? Where is God? Who is God? What is He? You know, we see all these different. You look on TV and you have God putting up in this light and that light. God is this way. God is that way. And when we look to the Bible, we see truth. And God, all the way through the Bible, is exact. He doesn't change. And like He says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. He delivered them there. And that was not just for the children of Israel, that was for our time today. A lot of us are in situations where on all sides we're trapped. We don't know where we're going to go. But we can look to that story and remember that God delivers those who trust in Him. And I think that's the powerful message behind that. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. And I think that's the true meaning behind that. It reveals to us the kind of Savior that we serve. So I think, in essence, that's the most important part of this. We can look to, we can prove this, and there's a lot of evidence to prove this site, definitely. And that makes it really exciting and all the more enjoyable. And also to be able to share this with others, it's been a wonderful tool.